Hey YouTube, it's me once again, John Avenger, and welcome back to Robot Month and the month of April of 2015, and happy Easter to all of you out there that are in the US, because I know some countries don't celebrate it, but anyway, this is not about that. This is Robot Month. So next, the next entry in this series is going to be a sequel that I think is very underrated. It did not deserve the box office that it got. It should have gotten more, especially with Furious 7, that it just made $143 million in the US alone. That's insane for a movie that's not, a superhero movie. But, that's cool. But this movie should have made that, like, overall. And that is the sequel to Robocop. Robocop 2, the only good sequel in the franchise thus far. I really enjoyed this film. I know when I first saw it back in 1990, like two or something like that, when they gave it on TV, I saw the cut version and I was like, this movie's just okay. But years later, like about 20 years later, I saw it on, I think it was Stars or HBO or something. I saw it on cable, and I was blown away by how gory and how much action is in this movie. This movie I think has more action than the first one, and I love the first one, but I think this one is underrated, and I think this movie is awesome. It still has Peter Weller playing RoboCop. The visual effects are still fantastic. The stop motion that they use for RoboCop 2, Robo Kane, is amazing. It still looks great even to this day. Even 25 years later, it still looks awesome. Nancy Allen is back as Ann Lewis. Yeah, there are some problems, I will say. One problem I have that a lot of people didn't is the casting of Belinda Bauer as the lead scientist character. I thought she was completely useless. She made the movie too long, which is another problem I have. Like, the movie is an hour and 57 minutes. It's almost 2 hours. I think if you had cut her out, the movie would have been 15 or 20 minutes shorter. And I don't think she's much of an actress. She's just an Aussie version of Jennifer Connelly, and I prefer Jennifer Connelly a lot more than her. That's why she's still acting. Uh, I do like the story, even though there is some disjointment in the plot. Like, there's other subplots that kind of sneak their way into the film with, the kids and with the drug lab and all that, and other things that happen in the film, like the beginning when you see the hookers attacking some poor guy, and like this, yeah, it was something that could have been a deleted scene. I don't think it needed to be in the film. But anyway, the plot, the RoboCop's trying to stop a drug dealer, cult leader from selling this drug to people in the streets, and them getting hooked on it. And well, it's just fast paced. So the action is definitely fluid in this film. It's not boring like the remake was. It's better than the remake. It's still R rated. It's still very, very violent. And even though, and I like the villain, Kane, played by Tom Noonan, I think it is. Yeah, he was in that other movie that I saw recently, a couple months ago. What was it called? The Monster Squad. He was Frankenstein's monster. He's a good villain. He's not a copy of Clarence Boddicker from the first film. He does his own thing. I think he's creepier than Clarence Boddicker. Uh, yeah, there's other actors in the film too. Dan O'Hurley, yeah, he's so over the top in this movie. He just makes me laugh my ass off, especially at the end when he goes, "Behave yourselves." That's just laughable to me. I laugh my ass off every time I hear that. The things where RoboCop is kind of like goofy and they screw up his directives. Yeah, it's silly, but it's still Peter Weller pulls it off. He looked less of an idiot than freaking Joe Can I Get a What Kinnaman in the remake, where everything he does sucks. At least here it's just one segment and it doesn't go on too long. Also, I really did enjoy the second half of the film is awesome, like the motorcycle chase scene where Kane's in the truck and RoboCop crashes into the truck and stops him. The guns play is awesome. There's a lot. It's ballsy for a sequel where they have a baby that's in trouble, that RoboCop has to save from this guy trying to shoot it, and like they would never do that in a movie nowadays. If you even point a gun at a kid or a baby, people will be outraged. But yeah, the kid that played the lead, yeah, Gabriel Damon, he plays the Hobbs. He's a really good actor. I like him. He did the voice of Littlefoot in the original Land Before Time. He also did the voice of Little Nemo in the Little Nemo animated movie based on the video game and the comic strip. Really good actor. I really miss him. I wish he would come back. The people had a problem with kids swearing and being, criminals, but I'm like, in this day and age, there are kids that are like 8 years old cursing, and there's like 5-year-old kids playing with tablets and doing crazy stuff that they shouldn't be doing. But it's all about how you raise a kid. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But it doesn't bother me. The dark tone fits with this film because it's R-rated. It's not trying to be some G-rated crappy film. It knows what it is. It's a great sequel. It didn't deserve to just make like about 40 million. It should have made that in its opening weekend. The fact that this movie, underperformed is sad because I really enjoyed it. And the third movie is garbage. I won't be talking about that. I don't have that in my collection. It's an abomination. But this movie is awesome. Love it now. I gave it another chance, and it was worth the time. Worth it. And I will never hate this movie. But I'll see this over any of the Transformers movies that came out from Michael Bay. Because unlike Michael Bay, Robocop doesn't have to piss on people. There are no fart jokes. They don't have sexual humor that's stupid. It doesn't have useless characters. Other than Belinda Bauer, I think everybody else in the cast is pretty much solid. You don't need that. Give us an action movie that we want to see, and we'll come to see it. And I would have loved to have seen this in a theater, but I was too young. I was only 5 years old. But I'm glad I have it on DVD. I love the sequel. It deserves to be in my Robot Month because it just gets shit on by people, and it's a lot better movie than the remake. So there. So that's my thoughts on Robocop 2, and solid underrated action movie that just blows me away every time I watch it. Just the score didn't bother me either. I know they couldn't get the composer from the first movie, but I like the score here. They said it sounded like Star Trek 4. I'm like, that's a compliment. This movie is sci-fi, sci-fi action, so it fits. And I like them. I really enjoy the movie, so I give it a thumbs up. It's an awesome sequel. Just gets hate that it doesn't deserve, just like Predator 2. Anyway, that's my Robot Month entry number 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for leaving comments on my other video, Robocop. Thanks a lot for that. Have a great Easter. Have a great spring break if you're celebrating it. And watch some good movies this month because, there's a lot of good coming in the next couple weeks. I know it. Later, guys.